supervisor in media, anything that was very much like, wow, really definitely oka one person of color. I realize what happens when they will lift one more feline we started interest with his unstable cases about the supposed defeat of Dave Chappelle's vocation on account of angry chiefs. In a new radio meeting, Williams caused a stir leaving fans, considering whether there is any reality to the thought that Hollywood is effectively smothering Chappelle's voice. Stay tuned as we dig into the complexities of this present circumstance, giving you every one of the relevant subtleties. Obviously, before I spill anything, ensure first that you buy into our station and hit that notice ringer for additional updates and recordings. Like this currently, how about we make a plunge? Well, what happened was I attempted to join on Twitter, and I put my name in it. Said this name is now being used. You can't utilize superstar names, it's odd. So I went to see who was utilizing it, and it was a phony Dave Chappelle this. And they had like my photos, and all that on Twitter was pristine. And I thought you realize I got to put a stop at this. However, at that point, I began perusing this nigga's tweets, and they were humorous during a new radio meeting, while at the same time advancing his impending HBO extraordinary, extremely valuable, the prestigious comic Katt Williams stood out as truly newsworthy with his exciting allegations concerning Dave Chappelle's profession on the Daybreak Enchantment Wand show, where Williams participated in a conversation about persuasive figures in the satire world. He uncovered a significant deference for Bernie McIntosh and recognized the job Mac played in molding his own prosperity anyway. The discussion before long veered off in a strange direction when Williams dug into the cloudy underside of media outlets with an unpretentious grin. He indicated the mystery encompassing these accounts, stressing that there is nobody able to unveil reality minutes after the fact. Williams started unwinding what he affirmed had occurred for Dave Chappelle's expert process, leaving audience members spellbound by his disclosures. Without naming any names, the beset comic inferred that the people pulling the strings, Good Times TV, conspire proceeding ruin Dave's profession. By obliterating his personality, Dave Chappelle was executed before us. Said feline went on by saying Hollywood elites made a solid attempt to blackmail Dave, as well as drop him. As per Katt chiefs, offered Dave $50 million on an agreement, which is just 10% of what he truly made. When Dave fought being terribly come up short on Katt, expressed that leaders rushed to turn on him. He got out, whatever do you think my fans will say when they figure out you offered me 10 of what I made you? And they said your fans will accept that you're an insane crackhead by time you return home, Katt expressed when he got to Ohio. It was so feline added following an 8-year non-attendance from films and TV. Apparently Dave Chappelle hasn't put forth a certified attempt to stage a rebound. Besides, something didn't add up about Katt Williams' tone during the meeting, stirring up misgivings about the validity of his cases. While his declarations are captivating, one would trust they need substance. Creating unmerited cases can be unsafe. And in spite of the fact that Williams may not be out and out lying, his validity has been subverted by his new conduct. Time will eventually uncover whether there is any reality to his assertions, as more bizarre things have occurred previously. And I'll get this great parody notoriety. And each day I awaken and get a few espresso and simply minding Twitter and see what this phony Dave Chappelle fellow was doing. Interesting stuff each day. However, at that point, he denounces any kind of authority. He begins like going after VIPs that are companions of mine. And of this large number of famous people, Katt Williams, well, Katt Williams wasn't having that. It is significant that Dave Chappelle has forever been known for pushing limits with his kind of parody. Anyway, he has confronted huge reaction for quite a bit of his material, especially with regards to jokes focusing on the gut, in addition to local area, explicitly transsexual people. Thusly, various bites have emitted at his new shows. Chappelle himself knows about the reaction to his comments, and is currently sincerely addressing what explicitly inconveniences him about individuals' choice to reprimand his work. As a matter of fact, the comic had recently uncovered the endeavors of Hollywood elites to quietness him during a meeting with Oprah Winfrey. Moreover, the eminent comic shared a powerful occurrence that occurred the previous summer during his show at the Varsity Theater in Minneapolis. The rescheduled occasion confronted VM in resistance as dissenters accumulated around the scene. Chappelle related on an episode of his digital broadcast, The 12 p.m. Wonder, that a few people even depended on tossing eggs at those calmly holding up in line, and one individual amazingly flung a police blockade into the group, surprisingly notwithstanding the unrest. The show happened as arranged. When Chappelle at last made that big appearance, he was welcomed with a reverberating applause, as going to a satire execution had suddenly turned into a demonstration of rebellion. Pondering the occurrence, Chappelle underscored that he doesn't really accept that the dissidents had malignant goals, and communicated that he doesn't hold on to outrage towards the people who evaluate his work. Anyway, his primary contention is that he ought to be qualified for keep sharing his contemplations, even notwithstanding conflict from many. I'm not even distraught that they disagreed with my work. Great fine, who really tends to think about what I disagree with, is the possibility that since they could do without it, I'm not permitted to say it. Craftsmanship is a nuanced try. I have a conviction that they are attempting to remove the subtlety from discourse in American culture, that they're causing individuals to talk as though they're either on the right or the left. Everything appears to be outright in any assessment I regard is far more nuanced than these paired decisions that they continue to place before us. I don't see the world dressed in reds or blues. The star likewise scrutinized the thought of the general population, attempting to quietness a performer, such as himself, and expressed his conviction that such strategies don't have anything to do with adoration. He rather contends that everything relates to fear. They need to be dreaded on the off chance that you say this: "We will rebuff you, we'll come to First Road and wreck your show. And we'll come to the Varsity Theater and wreck your show." And they don't get to do that. He added these contentions to a more extensive talk, encompassing the option to free discourse. Numerous VIPs, including Dave Chappelle, contend that society no longer considers subtlety conversations anyway, a counter that reserving the privilege to articulate one's thoughts doesn't exclude people from confronting analysis. A perplexing discussion is probably going to endure soon. How could you need to educate me concerning? I just watched you behead the ruler before me, and afterward carry on like he should make up for lost time and be a customary comic. One of the main occurrences where Dave Chappelle confronted critical reaction from Ulgut, in addition to activists, was the arrival of his Netflix exceptional, The Nearer, in 2021. Following its delivery, various people required the streaming stage to eliminate the creation, attesting that its substance could be deciphered as disdain discourse anyway. Netflix co-president Ted Sanderos attested that they wouldn't pull the unique, expressing that it didn't go too far, and featuring the significance of creative liberty as an unmistakable norm of discourse. The choice was uncovered in an inside circled email that got analysis when it was spilled, provoking Sarandos to release.